Today we're looking at effects, so we're going to jump into our effects tab here. The two effects that Lightroom lets us add is our vignetting and our grain. I think that this image is quite bright around the edges and I want to draw the attention into the subject, which is me standing on the hill. What we can do here is again just using our sliders, and as you'll see, if I pull this very far to the left, you'll see that it adds a massive vignette, and again if I pull it all the way to the right, it's going to add a massive vignette that's white. And so again, just like everything else, we want to make minute changes. And here you can change the way that the circle of the vignetting actually affects the image. You can pull the midpoint in, you can change the roundness of what our vignette really looks like. You can add a feather, so the softness of how that vignette is actually, you know, if I make it all the way to the left, it looks like an oval's on the middle of my photo. If I pull it all the way to the right, it's very soft and sometimes loses its effect. So I'm just gonna slide it around to sort of where I'm happy. And then you can slide the highlights tab as well around to make exact changes to the highlights. So I think I'm happy there. The last thing that we can do in our effects tab is add grain. Now, lots of people love to add grain in their images, but you can go a little bit overboard. So again, we're using minute, small changes. If you're trying to be stylistic, you might want to go something that is super grainy, but here obviously we lose the character and the details of our image. So I'm gonna bring my size down quite a bit. I'm going to decrease the roughness, but I'm also going to decrease the amount to about 40. Now I'm just going to increase the roughness just to see what we can do. And what you'll see as you start to play around with grain is it increases the texture of the actual image itself. And I think I'm happy with something like this. It's also important to note that when using effects here, they can look a little bit different when you export them. So it's just something to note. So if we have a look at the difference that our editing has made over the last 4 days, we can see that we started with an image that looks crazy different when we shot it to where we've landed up on the end. So hopefully you've learned something about photo editing that you can apply to the software that you use.